Well, you devils, happy Friday. Oh, Friday the 13th. Well, that makes sense then. All right, I've got to take a start at Bitcoin, of course. This is a 30-minute chart, right? Just trying to see how we're reacting. Of course, we all know we have some geopolitical issues rocking the market a little bit. So there's this immediate reaction to risk off and perhaps looking for safety. Equity market is handling it pretty well. But Bitcoin, of course, we're seeing this little sell-off here. So it's disrupted some counts. This is a little tricky here. It's not playing great Elliott ball here, to be honest. And there are times where Bitcoin will do that. You know, at the end of the day, no matter how, well, within reason, right? Any weakness in Bitcoin, institutions are literally going to lap this up. They're going to buy all of it. They're already damn near buying all of it. So this does not in any way threaten, in my opinion, my personal opinion, threaten any potential bullish action. This is just life, reality. You know, geopolitical issues happen. Okay, so we get a sell-off here. Well, what's the impact? It certainly rocked the count here, right? This looked like perhaps we were going impulsive here, and we were going to have this abnormal kind of retracement here, very shallow. Technically, you could make a case for it here, but now I'm reluctant to label it even because it's so odd. Now, in times like this, we don't want to be so rigid that we can't accommodate. Oh, I'm going to call it a little bit of loose Elliott. So if we look at what's happened down here from the high to our low here as we sit in this range. Okay, well, I got 5 down. I get a corrective 3. I get another 5. Now this gets pretty wacky here, right? To try and get a clean Elliott count here. The only place I can get an impulse is the last shoot down. So it looks like you'd have to do some sort of a kind of a forced triangle, A, B, C, D, E here. I'm not even changing the labeling here because it's just, we got to see this reveal itself. So we could, I think, right, given a choice here, I think we could look at this as a candidate for a 5 down because what I get here is 3. Now, there's ways this can be interpreted as well. Obviously, we have a very shallow retrace in the midst of that shot. Potentially, there's a truncation here. We did a 1-2. We did a 5 here, and the C is here with a truncation. But again, you go to truncation, absolutely last resort. I don't think we need to do that just yet. So I would keep this as a 3. So if this is, you know, what would that potentially create, right? Just Elliottician, right? Would think, oh, A, B, we're coming down for the C. Let's take that up and something larger, right? Could this be what we're doing? Well, I wouldn't necessarily consider that bad news because if we're coming lower down here in the mid to low 90s here, obviously we can all see this, right? We've got a giant gap here in the volume profile tied to how quickly we went here, right? So that's a reasonable target if we're going to come down lower. So where's the C? Well, you know, could we come down here to this ledge here? That wouldn't be surprising. How are we going to do it? Well, this is also open to a little bit of interpretation, but certainly we have an impulsive move here. Is it clean Elliott? Well, it's not perfectly clean here. We've got the little wick here that overlaps here. So if we're trying to do this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C into the 2, okay, kind of a bumpy ride into the 3, but it's technical. Now, I'm going to pull this off just for a second because you look at it and you go, oh, shit, that's the 3? Why that? Well, okay, we've got a very, very slight overlap here. Again, even Elliott in leveraged markets would say, okay, you allow for a little slip there. I do notice this, if I pull here from the proposed 1 to the proposed 2 and then pull this over, where's the highest probability location for a wave 3? Between the 1618 and the 175, right? We just get a wick into it and then we kick back here into a 3. So I'm inclined to think that we have a reasonable candidate here because it doesn't play as well. If I were to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well then I got to back into that. Well, what would this be? Well, I suppose we could be A, B, C. That would be a reasonable alternate. Let's go ahead and label that. This is possibly what we're doing here. That's a little big. We'll bring that down here. So a candidate we could have an AB going into a 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. So let's, as we would with any kind of a perspective wave one, let's wick off that and see, okay, is that what we're doing? Well, that, again, it's not necessarily bad news. It's just, I like to say it's a slow tease of a reveal. Okay, it's keeping you guessing right here. And then you throw in the overreaction to the geopolitical news. Risk off. Oh, maybe not. Now, we'll see how this develops, right? It certainly is not conducive to, I mean, it's not good news for traders, right? Well, I suppose it depends on what you're trading. But, okay, for risk assets and for Bitcoin traders here, okay, we can look at a candidate here that this might be coming lower, and we're going to have to do this like this. This would be one, well, just to finish it, just to not be sloppy. 1, 2, 3, 4, coming down for the 5, right? To get a C down here, we're going to go A, B. You know, that would kind of bring you back to, oh, wait a second. Maybe I have to rethink it. Right? So that's why I mean it's kind of leaving you like without any definitive leaning. Okay, so if this were to go A, B into a C, oh, well then I can't do it. This wouldn't fit, right? Unless we're going to go much deeper. Could I be back to a W, X, Y? A, B, C. Well, now you're hesitant because the A and the B relative to the C is just way too big, right? The C is just too big. It doesn't happen. It's just that that's not the one that I want to put money at risk on because it's so abnormal. So do we truncate up here? Maybe. Are we going A, B? Maybe. Right? It's too many maybes, right? To be allocating fresh capital into Bitcoin. My opinion. Right? Do what you like, but my opinion here, there's too much uncertainty here, too much in the background here that could disrupt things. So I'm not adding anything here. Now, I will say, if we come down to some of these lower levels, I'm going to start, I'll start dollar cost averaging in, not with a big buy initially, but you can see the potential here in this low volume node that we just talked about. If we were to come down into some of this, I'm not going to just sit here with a limit order, but if we get a little reaction here and we get a pullback here, if there's some low risk relative to potential reward kind of trades that's set up down here, right? Can I get a higher low, right? Something that would give me something to trade off of. As I would always suggest, if you're doing this, what stop's got to be under the low, because the assumption is that that's a low and this is the higher low and then higher high. So it's not that, oh, I don't want to put my stop where everybody else is putting it. Well, of course, everybody's going to put it there. That's not problematic. If they're going to get them, they're going to get them, period. Right? The bad guys, right? The algos, right? Wait, I mean, why? Why would they go after that? It's liquidity, because everybody like you and me put their stop right there. Now you want to give it a little more, give it, maybe you're down under the value area here. Okay, right? You can give it a little bit more, but do not do that. Don't. That's never worth it. It's never a good idea to do that. Never move a stop, ever. It's just a bad habit that starts to become too easy to do, right? If you're rigid with it and say, no, I don't move stops. Long run, you'll be much glad that you developed that discipline, right? It's way too easy, right? No one looking over your shoulder saying, don't do it, don't do it. That's between you and you. It's not like the cost of going in and out of the market is prohibitive. It's not, well, I shouldn't assume, right? But I don't know what kind of size you're trading, but it's not going to make or break the trade, right? Don't let the trading cost be an issue. Institutions have to worry about that. You and I do not have to worry about that. We're just looking for good location and then money management. As soon as you do this, you just fucked yourself. Okay, even if you get away with it, right? Then you'll do it the next time. Eventually, you're going to get spanked hard for that because that is a mistake. And the market has an incredible capacity to punish mistakes. One way or another, you start making those mistakes, market will punish it. It's just how it works, right? I can't tell you why that is. I can just tell you it's the reality of trading, and I can speak from 30 years of doing this. Don't move your stops. Take the stop. Reevaluate. Do you still want to be long or short? All that happened was your money management was executed. Your stop was hit, which you put there for a good reason, I'd like to think, initially. So why are you moving it? Well, I didn't want to get stopped out. That's your reason? You're in the wrong business. Really, you know, if we look at this, we're just in a big, this is a big, well, we're going to be a little more tighter with that. Just looking here at this volume profile, right? We're just in a big range here. We went up here, we almost got to new highs. Of course, you know, terrible place to be entering. As I would remind you at any opportunity that I could, right? Some will tell you, oh no, take the breakout. I would tell you that's the single stupidest thing to do. But that's my opinion, right? I'm entitled to my opinion, right? You can feel free to disagree, right? Let me know how it works out for you. This is frustrating. Oh, what a tease, right? Oh, new all-time high. It's coming. It's coming. No, it's not. Yet. Oh, it's coming. In my opinion. Just not yet. Okay, let me pause there. I don't know if there's much to do here. This is very much a hurry up and wait scenario here. Okay, sit tight here. I got a couple more here. That won't be a long one today. Staying with crypto, here's AAVE here. I'm on the aggregator crypto. I would trade this. So over on Femex, they're our sponsor, right? So I try to plug them whenever I can. We're really happy with them. Okay, so this is it's a little funky here, but not so much so that I don't think there's a setup here. Now, is it ripe right now? No. But you've had this nice impulsive move here. The question is, what is that? Well, I don't have an impulse off the low, but I can kind of squish a diag into here. There's a couple of sections here where it's a little iffy, right? The 3 here, a bit iffy. A, B, C, right? What the 1, 2, it's the 3 that's, you know, you can probably slog your way through it to get something to work. But I get a candidate here for a 1 through the ABC, A, B, C into a 2 down here. Then an A, clear impulse here. A, well, pardon me, not that clear, but you have to make a little bit of an adjustment here to go A, expand the B into the C, so I can get 3 into the 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the B, and then a straight shot for the 3. So I've got a 1, you know, make that a little bit bigger. So I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now remember, with a diag, we want to pull from the start of 1 through the pivot of 3, looking for the 50 to the golden zone. We get it, and we come out of there impulsively. Well, you're not anticipating this to go, you know, in a straight shot with an impulse. What you're anticipating, right, if it's going to hold this price pattern here, that we would be looking for the B wave to come next. So I draw your attention to this, if it's not already on your radar, for the potential retrace here. Now, I love it on a Friday where I can give you something that's, you know, ripe, ready to go, but that is not there now. But we can certainly look at this and say, okay, well, we've got a couple of, you know, reasonable targets here with an arrow. We've got this one to this target, and then we've got the bigger, right, from this 50 to this golden zone to this target, which is actually where I think is the, you know, if we get something like this, again, I don't have any of this. I don't know that that's the top, but just as I sit here kind of forecasting a roadmap, boy, if I get a pullback in here, I got a little order block down here, which kind of sweeten it. Why do I know that that's a good order block that I might want to pay attention to? Because look at the displacement that came off of it, right? You can, hard to miss it, right? We get boom, right? So we know there's a block of orders here. That's what an order block is. So we come down here to this block of order here, potentially we could pick up some liquidity here, and up we go, right? So where are they going to get the liquidity? Well, there's 2 places. They can go up, get it up here, or they can come down and get it down here. We just tapped into this order block here, and you can see the little reaction. So there's no guarantee that we're coming down here, but in terms of a setup, if I can get a 3 down to this B, I'm very interested. What's the money management, right? Where your stop going to be? Well, you don't have to go all the way to the pivot. It's a function of what your risk tolerance is and what's appropriate and what kind of size. Now, if you wanted to put the stop down here, I'm not saying don't do that, but your size has to be much smaller, right, to accommodate the additional risk beyond the 707 or 786. Put it down here. You don't want to put it under this down here. You know, oh, I can put it under the golden zone. No, because that would distort the count, right? You want this to hold as the 4. And even though, I mean, that also, it's just been kind of choppy in AAVE, right? We've got all this legislation trying to get through the House. You know, it's coming, right? Most of you are probably seeing Walmart and Amazon. Walmart and Amazon talking about doing their own stable coins. I mean, it's coming. The financial revolution of crypto is coming. It's just, we all want it to happen faster, right? It's just the patient will be rewarded. The hodlers will be rewarded. That doesn't mean just buy anything. It means stick to high quality assets in crypto that have utility, that are not just, you know, bullshit. Fart coin, right? And I know people have made millions on fart coin. I'm sorry. I refuse to even look at it. It's such it gives the industry a bad name, but who cares, right? If you're making money. That said, right? So, okay, keep your eyes on AAVE, right? So just, maybe highlight the fair value gap here and put an alert there. Shit, I'm going to do it right now. So if we start coming down here, okay, heads up. I want to know about it. I don't want to forget that. Oh, shit, what? The alert went off in AAVE. Whoa, what's going on? Set up. No need, right? That could easily do that. And this is an ABC, and this is 1, 2, right? There's lots of potential scenarios here. So don't move your stop. It's going to go. It's going to go, right? If it doesn't, next trade. There'll always be another one coming. Okay, hang on. Let me get over here. Another asset here to get on your radar if it's not already. This is Hyperliquid. It's definitely a utility player. This should be very prominent in the DeFi space here. You can see I'm over on Phoenix, right? That's our sponsor. And so I don't have full history here, but coming off of this low here at, what are we at? $9, just lunar shot straight up. So of course, a little tricky to be buying up here. I would not recommend it, but I'd certainly be watching this. If we're going to go up for this 5, which we could, this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a little tricky in here. Oh, I'm on a 4-hour here. Looks like I've got a 5 here. I could do the B here. I could do the running flat here. A little squish here to make that fly, but it looks like I could do a 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It might even have truncated here. It's a little sloppy. Is this 1, 2? We done? Right? We could be. Fuck, I'm on a 4-hour. Let's go to a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's a little iffy here. So that of course we've got a double up here at the high. That's not something I would encourage you to buy. If you were determined to be a buyer down here, I would just look for Al's participation. Well, right down to we've got an inverse fair value gap there. So we get that little imbalance being filled here. Now, could we go up higher? And we're going to do this, and this would be 1, 2. Certainly possible here. The point here is get this on your radar if it's not already. Again, looks like if we haven't already topped up here, which is fine with me. Right? We'd want to buy it down here, $20 if we could. Right? That's I'm in log scale. It's not terrible out of log here, but I'm going from 12 to 40, so I'm 4 times the range. So you could look at it in both, but I would stick here since I'm 4 times the range. It kind of cleans it up down below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 1, 2 again very shallow, right? So because we're ripping here. So question, this also could be A, expanded B. We're going to come down for the C. We got to let this play out. But very solid asset with lots of potential. I'd keep this on your radar. So I'd maybe here, I'm going to do it right now. Maybe an alert down here. If we break this, yeah, definitely. Good one for Phoenix. If we come down here, right, because you can see the possibility. Could this be A and the B is up here and the 5 is still to come and the 4 is down here and we're going to go C down here. So we could go A, B, C. Well, the challenge with that and why I think that's less likely, is why I didn't have that as the primary, is because look at the 2, right? This would be disproportionately large. So, but that kind of looks like a 5. So what are your choices here? 1, 2, 3, right? Could be done. 1, 2, 3, 4, little skinny 5. Gotta wait for a little more clarity, a little more reveal. But I'd be inclined to think that's good. So now you just hurry up and wait for the retrace, right? Doesn't matter how high it goes. This is not the discounted premium, right? It's just not the place to be buying, in my opinion, right? You do what you want, but I would tell you it's not. I'm never saying that it couldn't go higher. Shit, let's go $500 higher. I'm just saying that that's a low risk over time. That's not a habit you want to build. Buying at the highs. You don't have to take my word for it ever on anything I tell you. You just go to the charts and look yourself. Oh, has that worked out well? Yeah, of course there are going to be times where it works out, but look at 100 charts. Look at the breakouts at the high. I think you'll agree that's not a great idea. Okay, so let me pause here 1 second. Couple we've been hitting every week here because now we've got a change into the count here. Same kind of a thing. So this is SUI. Again, I'm over on Phoenix. So candidate for the 2, I've got just a beautiful impulse off the low, but ABC, right? Now this looked like we had candidate for a 1, right? Doesn't happen, right? What do I do? I get a 3, so what am I going to put there? I've got this beautiful, I mean, you can't script them any better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We begin and we end in 5, so there's something completed here. And then I go into a 3. Well, if that's ABC, hello, X wave, right? So it looks like, what would we assume now for the 2? Well, remember, this was already a little bit, we're going to pivot here between the 38 and the 50. Again, not like it doesn't happen. It's just, where do they typically go? Well, I've got this nice imbalance down here above the golden zone. So if that's going to hold as an X, right, we'd be anticipating an A, a B, and a C to come down here, which, as far as I'm concerned, this is all good news, because I'm thinking about where this stuff is going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. I don't want to fuck around up here buying at the highs. All I'm going to do is just put myself under pressure and pain as I watch my account balance go down as a result of doing something stupid like buying at the all-time highs, which only, again, look at your charts, right? And tell me whether you think that's a good idea, right? If we want, what do we want to do? Right? Look, Warren Buffett, right? We want to buy when other people are selling. But the one thing you do not want to, well, again, my opinion, don't sell your Bitcoin. Just hold it. You're just going to give it to BlackRock. You're just going to give it to institutions. If you sell it or it gets stopped out, so maybe avoid the levered trading, right? Because all you're doing is just you're giving it to institutions. They're going to take it. They don't give a flying fuck how far down it goes. They're going to buy it all the way down because they know where it's going to be 3-5 years from now, a whole lot higher than 110. Again, my opinion, not financial advice. Okay, right. So can we come down here and get this at golden? I never like to root against my portfolio at any time, right? But in the short term, okay, I wouldn't be disappointed if I got an opportunity to buy it down here to 250, 230, 240. Oh, yes, I would be aggressive there, but that's me. Okay, let me see if Solana, I didn't even look at Solana. I know it's probably doing the exact same thing. Yeah, it is. Let's go over here on this one. Hang on. Virtually identical, right? Here's the candidate was for the 2. Looked like we had, here, I'll get in there. Right, same, hang on. Same thing. Nope, it's going to be a 3, right? So how do we label it? WX, looking for the Y down here at the golden. Looks like Al may have been involved here. Let's just take a peek. Not quite. It's too high here, so it looks like he's here. Looks like we just come up and tag the 618 before we come down. Okay, now if you levered up here thinking, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or however you were counting, shit, it's a 4 hour, you probably have been inclined to be thinking, okay, well, maybe that's 1 ABC into the 2 and the 3. It just we get this new volatility, big displacement here. It just doesn't happen, right? So now it would have been almost a force fit to get that into an impulse, but a bit cleaner as an ABC or just a corrective price action here coming up. Just a tick or two shy of the golden zone for that front run. Got targets down here and got a golden zone down here. So is this 1, 2, 3, 4? Well, let's think about that. If that's the case, right, the implication would be that we're not done, that's the A wave. Let's go here. That's the A wave of the ABC we're anticipating, right? So one more down here. That's not the time to buy it. Well, again, depending on your time frame. If we come down for the 5, what are we expecting? We're looking for the B wave. Right. So we're looking for a zigzag here. That would be the simplest thing. Can I get a zigzag into that 2 to complete the Y wave down here? So I get a W, X, A, B, C into a Y. Looks like that's where we're heading. Now, a lot of shit can happen over the weekend, especially when we have this kind of geopolitical tension in the background. I use that word. But if we're coming down here at 120, I'm buying aggressively. That's me, right? Make your own choice, right? And only, what you can afford here. Don't be irresponsible just because, oh God, it's a perfect technical setup. That doesn't mean go bigger. Spread across the strong assets here is what I would suggest. Okay, hang on. We'll finish up with just a quick look at the bonds and the S&P since we've been hitting those. So bear with me. Got to pay attention to the 10-year here, right? As we're trying to get a read on where interest rates are going. This is very interesting, right? This has become quite tricky. Now you see, again, all right, it's in the bonds, right? I've been talking about this, right? Again, the smartest guys in the room. You think Al's in here? Yes, Al dictates every asset class, right? Again, say this every week. It's not why it moves, it's how it moves. So we go golden. We come down here. Look at all the double bottoms we see in the bonds, right? Double, this, double. A lot of doubles, right? Pivots, double bottoms there's almost a double here, double. It's just a lot of doubles, right? So it looks like we can go into an A wave here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little funky here. Oh, pardon me. Here's the 4. A, B, C. We get a 5 down into that double. So there's an A. We've looked at this last couple of weeks. A, B, C into a W. Another series of doubles. Down for an A, B, C for the X. A, B, C into the B. So we get it. We get that B as a 3 via this. Right, we get the WXY. Well, then I get straight down. Looks like we double down here. This is just the panic, right? Well, shit, the missiles are firing by the bonds, right? And we go, what do we, right to the golden. And then we, oh, okay, maybe it's not going to be so bad. What do we do? To the next golden. That's what the markets do over and over and over and over and over 1,000,000 times every day, over every asset class, every time frame. This is the dominant algo. I've been saying that for 6 years. You have to know where it is at all times, or you will trade right into it and you won't know what happened. Why the fuck? Oh, what? Oh, I forgot to check for. Yeah, you'll do it. I promise you'll do it if you don't check. Where is he? What did he do last? Well, how much room do I have until he kicks in again? And just because he's there doesn't mean it's not, one side's not going to break, but let it break. So what are you picking here? Long or short? What's your edge? Well, the context would suggest, while that's damn near got there, it didn't overlap this. So it's a candidate, a little abnormal, but given the reaction to the geopolitical news, okay, I can see that. So what do we, panic, right? You buy bonds. Okay, well, it doesn't overlap the 2. So technically, it could still hold as the 2. 1, 2. This is a little weird that we doubled again down here. But again, given the history, bond market has no problem with double bottoms or double tops. So is this 1, 2? Well, you could also do it this way. If you're looking at that going, well, that doesn't look like much of a 3. Okay, you could probably fudge it in there. Well, then you're here and you're going A, B, C into the 2. It doesn't really matter, right? As we sit here, right? Whether it's here or here, right? It's the same pivot. If this is A, B, C, okay, well, still a candidate for 2. Where am I looking for the 3? Well, I still have this set of median lines here, even though we broke here. I wouldn't move it. I wouldn't do this just yet. Right? I would keep this here because that's the higher. Oh, I can get it back on there. That's the higher pivot. Not by much, but enough to where my target would be right down here. It's also the algo target. But first, we're not going anywhere until we break this algo. We could just stay between these two. Right? One side has to break or we go sideways forever. Again, thank you, David Halsey. Okay, now let's finish up with the S&P. Oh shit, hang on a sec. Okay, we can do it over here on the SPX. Well, you can see, well, of course, there's going to be plenty of resistance up here. That's our all-time high. There's going to be order blocks up here. We know there's liquidity up here. We've got all these are the red being the inverse fair value gaps. It's coming off of those traditional fair value gaps. Now we've got the inverted fair value gaps up here. I'm just using I usually use the other ones, different colors, but that's fine, right? Red being inverted, green being traditional. That's the Lux Algo one. I think it's a free one. What am I on the 1 hour? Sure looks like we're trying to complete this 5 and doing a pretty decent job of it. Now that could change, right? So this would be an alert here that would have me rethinking this, but right now it does. Oh, can I do that one? It looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, putting in the 4. Now if this starts to fall lower, right? But it hasn't done it yet, right? So it's, again, remember, in LA County is always a snapshot in time. Right now, as long as this pivot holds, that could be a 1, 2 before we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get that 5th. Remains to be seen if we get it. Now this can come down a little bit deeper if we're going to sell off into the close. right? Here's where we would have an invalidation. All right, if we don't want the 4 coming down here because we have an impulse going up. I think it's a little cleaner in the futures market. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. If you can barely see it, let's put that in. Oh fuck, come here, yellow. So you can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, good, decent candidate for the 3. Remember, it's always going to be a little choppy if you're looking at the SPX as opposed to the ES futures, because the overnight. 1, 2, 3. Right, that one's not. I don't think would be in dispute. 4. This is a little bit bumpy here, in that you could certainly make a case that looks like a 5, but given that we go 5, 3, and then 5, you're kind of stuck with what's here. Unfilled gap still sitting down here at some point, right? So okay, back to okay. Do we want to be buyers up here? Well, can you not see the potential play that's about just staring at? In fact, again, the market is never obligated to do anything ever. But if you could certainly see a scenario here where we come down here, now whether we break this or not remains to be seen, and then we go up here, we sweep the high. Do you think there's some liquidity up here? Yeah, of course, right? Everybody on the planet knows that. Right, so you're going to buy it up here? It's not what I would recommend. Now, I'm not saying that couldn't go vertical from here. I'm never saying that. I'm just saying in terms of risk reward, that would be in my opinion, that's the single worst place to buy the market, period. Up to you whether you want to do that. I would strongly suggest against it. It doesn't see, the point is not that I'm never saying, oh, it could do this. I'm never saying that. I'm just saying the risk reward here. Where's your stop going to be? Here? Here? Some random number that you choose is based on the size of your wallet. That's not trading the market. That's trading your wallet. What are we looking for? We're looking for the 5, right? So if it goes up here and sweeps, well, of course, where's the liquidity? Well, there's some below what looks like the most reasonable path to get the next pocket of liquidity, right? It would complete the 5. Now, again, market's not obligated to do it, but that's going to complete. Now, the next question is, what did we just complete there? Because there's this, oh, it got a little weird down here. Did we have a truncation, or is there in white here? Is that another 1, 2 that has to be resolved? Because if we're coming up here for this 5 and that completes, we're completing in blue here the 3, right? Which implies that all of this, oh, hang on a second. No, this would be, here, this is why you gotta do it this way. You get confused. Okay, 1, 2. I'm looking for this 3 up here, 4 and 5. That's why you want to rotate degrees and colors, because it's easy to get confused when you have this many waves that are potentially in play. 1, 2. I'm looking for that 3, which would be, meaning we still have a long way to go. So 4 and 5 to come up, which would be, get these out of here, which would be, oh God, let's see, this 3, these all still to come. Right now, you just get to a point where you're like, oh, come on, man. We're going, well, okay. One completed 5-wave sequence at a time. Let's see what happens. First, let's complete this one. Can we sweep the high? High probability. This week, next week. At some point, right? Well, now that's going to be, if we're completing, that's going to be completing off of this pivot, right? We'll be completing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off of this. So it's a 3. The implication would be still a 4 to come. So we go up here, grab all the liquidity up here, and then retrace, right? Get people like, oh God, I shouldn't have bought the high. Right? And then 5 still to come. All of this still to come, right? That would be the 3. It's a long way to go here. Now, but okay, again, one swing at a time, right? Let's be sure we don't do this, right? Which we certainly could, right? We start to challenge some of this. All of a sudden, this count falls apart. And it's not like, oh, you were wrong. As I like to remind you, it's not about being right or wrong. Who fucking cares if you're right or wrong? What matters is whether you're profitable. Let that sink in, right? Right or wrong is irrelevant. profitable. It's the only thing that matters in trading. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it there. Oh, 34. That's not bad for me. Okay, with that, a few ideas, things to get on your watch list. Certainly, we want to pay attention to this in conjunction with what's happening in the bond market, right? Because if we pop in the bond market, right, we're going to blow up the other potential count there. So watch here, right? If this gets swept, oh, this is going to change the count. But right now, golden to golden. Pretty typical. Okay, guys, have a good weekend. I think one of my guys is going to do a video as well. I think Sensei PK, one of them's going to do one. I'm out of town this weekend, but I'll be back. I'll be back for next Wednesday's live stream. Okay, guys, all of our links are below, right? If you want to get into this kind of stuff, right? You know, right? Discord. Our Discord is free. Belt system, all those things, all those juicy things, right? All that educational content is there for you if you want to dig into it. Again, our links are below. Okay, guys, have a good weekend. I'll catch you next week.